Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, especially to our subject professor, attorney. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Today we will be discussing and presenting the fiscal management practices of a government agencies and government-owned and controlled corporations. So maybe one of my colleagues will be presenting the data regarding the fiscal management practices of one private corporation and a cooperative. That will be discussed by Sir Salahuddin Bidsok. Financial management is a crucial function within any organization. As we are in the organization, we have this saying that economy is the backbone of every organizations and associations. So without the economy, we cannot mobilize our programs and our plans and our activities in a certain year. So that's why it is very important in an organization about financial management. So it will involve strategic planning, organizing, directing, and controlling financial activities. It aims to efficiently acquire and develop short-term and long-term resources to achieve organizational objectives and maximize value. Effective financial management empowers business and governmental bodies to make informed decisions, optimize resources, and ensure long-term viability. Without sound financial management, organizations face risks like wasted resources, stalled projects, and weak oversight, leading to underperformance and reduced capacity to adapt. So in an institution like State University, SOX, or specifically the Sultan Kudarat State University, which is owned by the government, of course, strategic financial management is essential. Despite guaranteed governmental funding, as you know, when the institution is owned by the government, there is a finance from the national government, which is the GAA, the Fund 101. So even though there is a budget from the national government, without effective management of its resources, SKSU may experience delays in its programs and activities due to challenges like downloading of funds, most often the decreasing of the budget per year. So this is a experience this year. According to our budget officer, there is a decrease of at least 30 million for this year. So that is very crucial if the institution could not establish a financial management. Similarly, for institutions like Land Bank, the strategic management of fiscal matters is critical to ensure it can effectively fulfill its dual mandate of promoting countryside development and maintaining financial viability. So, even the Land Bank of the Philippines, Bangko na, there is also a financial management that must be done to ensure a passive progress, develop financial accountability and management, not only to the land bank but to its clientele, of course. So today, we will be presenting to you the comparative analysis of these two. So actually, we have interviewed two government agencies and government-owned and controlled businesses, but the DBP and the LGU was presented by our colleagues, and we, together with Sir Bidsok, we will be presenting to you the SKSU and Land Bank, and maybe Sir Bidsok, inshallah, Sir Bidsok will present to you the private corporation and cooperative. So, we will be discussing the 17 financial management parameters. So, to start with, the sources of funding. So in SKSU, the primary primarily relies on the public funds. So, including government appropriations and tuition fees. So, we have Fund 101, which is the GAA, General Appropriation Act. We have also the Fund 164, 163. So, that is the sources of the Sultan Kudarat State University. And other universities, of course, they have also this. So, it also generates additional income from income-generating projects. So, pag ang state university is allowed to establish its income-generating projects. Just for example, in SKSU, it has a farm in Lotayan. There is IGP in Bagumbayan campus. There is IGP in Access campus, and there is IGP in Palimbang campus. So in all the 7 campuses have actually each businesses or income generating projects that could help to sustain the needs of the university. So collaborative with external organizations for financial support. So just for example, SKSU could ask for assistance from the congressman of the districts of Sultan Kudarat. It could also ask from the Department of Agriculture. Actually, in Bagumbayan, the Department of Agriculture Region 12 supports the extension programs of the Bagumbayan. So instead of getting the fund from the General Appropriation Act, ay nanggagaling, may subsidy binibigay ang DA Region 12. So that is a support. And another one is the researches of the university. We cannot sustain the researches of the university because it costs millions of pesos. So because of DOST and other agencies, government agencies, nasusustain yung research projects ng Sultan Kudarat State University. On the other hand, the Land Bank diversifies funding through governmental capital infusions, customer deposits, and borrowings. So ganun ang Land Bank. That is the difference. The SKSUs primarily relies only on the government fund and IGP and other governmental agencies. Compared to Land Bank only relies on the governmental capital, customer deposits, and borrowing scheme. So yun ang kaniyang sources of funding. Invest in key sectors for financial sustainability. So manage obligation while ensuring long-term growth. So, into the financial planning, SKSU uses documents like Strategic Development Plan and Annual Work Financial Plan. In SKSU, every year, they are conducting this Strategic Development Plan every year. And they have the year-end review. So, every year, ginagawa yan to determine kung saan ba nagkulang, kung saan nagkulang ang procurement, kung anong natirang pera, bakit hindi naubos. So yan ang dinidiscuss niyan sa Sultan Kudarat State University. Planning involves department heads, budget officers, and university officials. So compared to Land Bank, the Land Bank aligns finances with long-term strategic objectives. So every year, fiscal management should be based on the long-term strategic objectives. Wherein compared to SKSU could change anytime. Just to integrate the long-term strategic objectives of the university, every fiscal year, there is a little changes regarding the programs, especially the financial management. So, Land Bank involves senior management. So, compared to Sultan Kudarat State University, because the SKSU is depends on the decision of the Board of Regents and the university president. The university president could designate someone as to be a department heads. So compared to Land Bank, once you are a senior employee, automatically you are part of the financial planning. So in SKSU, even though that you are senior, if the trust and confidence of the university president and the Board of Regents, you could be changed or replaced by someone whom the university president has trust and confidence. So Land Bank comparison and the SKSU, both institutions use structured financial planning processes involving key stakeholders. SKSU emphasizes adaptability while Lamdang integrates risk management and financial forecasting. So as to the budget preparation and approval, SKSU budget proposal reviewed by the department heads, approved by the Board of Regents. So because the Board of Regents is the decision-making body of the university, it should be always approved by the Board of Regents. So factors include the strategic goals, accreditation needs, and availability of funds. So that's the approval. So why the SKSU needs the strategic goals and accreditation needs? So pag mayroong accreditation needs in the university, just for example, last year, may call that all programs have be accredited, automatically, it should be the priority of the university to fund on. And then, Land Bank budget approval follows the structured process with financial approval by the Board of Directors. So, Board of Regents versus Board of Directors. Focuses on resource availability, past performance, and a strategic alignment. So, the Land Bank could say how much is the fund for next year, but the university could not, because it will always depend on the GAA, the General Appropriation Act. May mga instances na nadidelay. Just for example, according to our accounting office, may 30 million pang hindi nakukuha last year sa tuition fees, which is a Fund 164. May tuition fees na hindi pa nadadownload ng national government. Kaya medyo nagtitipid this year ang university. So as to financial forecasting techniques, SKSU uses historical data and trend analysis, especially in the procurement process. Now the university is conducting the university-wide inventory activity. Kasi napapansin ng university, there is a duplication of BR every year. Nag-order ng printer ngayon, nag-order ng ink, by next year another ink, by next year another ink. So ito yung historical data ang tinitingnan ng State University. Incorporates buffer funds and contingency measures for economic uncertainties. So automatic yan, there is a savings, there is a fund, there is appropriation allocated for contingency measures for economic uncertainties. So Land Bank uses trend analysis and scenario planning. So, ibang sa Land Bank, trend analysis, because they are in a business form, although it is funded by the government, kasi medyo business slash business, so tinitingnan ang trends analysis. So, now, the Land Bank of the Philippines offering a loan for the farmers. With collateral, of course. Compares real-time performance with forecast for proactive financial management. That is the Land Bank. So in budgeting approaches, SKSU uses a hybrid budgeting system combining incremental and performance-based budgeting, prioritizing high-impact project despite funding limitations. So, university is, just for example of prioritizing high-impact project is the College of Medicine. Despite the fact that there is no enough fund for the College of Medicine, the university tied on having collaborative with the provincial government just to sustain the project. And Alhamdulillah, now the College of Medicine is ongoing. And we have already enrollees in the university. So Land Bank uses performance-based approach, balanced budgeting with resource constraints and regulatory changes. So that's the Land Bank. So once there is a regulations of the Philippine Central Bank of the Philippines, automatically the Land Bank will also follow the regulatory changes. So in expense control mechanism, SKSU implement regular finance monitoring and cost control policies. Internal audits ensure compliance with budgets. So, in the other hand, Land Bank uses formal budget controls, cost centers, and variance analysis. So, the difference may be when we say expenses, SKSU expense for its mobilization, for activities and programs, while Land Bank expense only on its office needs and supplies, and for the borrowing management or lending to the clients and stakeholders. So, SKSU implements regular financing monitoring. So, using the PPMP, the Procurement Act of the Philippines, so there is a basis there to control the expenses of the university. So, not to be in the extravagance activities. So, Land Bank relocates funds and implements corrective actions for financial efficiency. So, actually, in university, in SKSU, it also relocate funds, which is so-called realignment of fund every quarter. So, there is a 4 meetings to discuss the financial expenses of the university. We have 4 supplemental budget call in the university. So, for example, there is a shortage in the other part or other activities of the university, which was approved in the first funding. In the second supplemental, it could be realigned. Same with the Land Bank of the Philippines. So, compliance with financial regulations, the SKSU government by the national laws, like the General Appropriation Act and COA Circular and the Procurement Act, ensures compliance through regular audits and policy adjustment. So, Land Bank adheres to regulations set by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Compliance Management Group ensures regulatory adherence. So, both university and the Land Bank follows the regulations of the national laws, because they are controlled and owned by the national government. So, revenue forecasting and projections. SKSU uses enrollment patterns, tuition revenue, and prior grant payments for forecasting. So, you know what? As universities, enrollment is very important. Aside from the GAA, kasi GAA, the one will decide in the GAA is the national government. So, aside from that, the university will receive another funding based on the enrollments. So, that is very important. That's why university is conducting a career guidance activity, just to encourage the students of the senior high school graduate to be enrolled in the university, because enrollment is very important in revenue forecasting and projections. So, once na mababa ang enrollees ng university, there is a decrease in the funding, there is decrease on the source of fund of the university. Reviews income projections annually to ensure accurate financial planning. So, income projections also discuss the income projects of the university. So, sometimes, mas maraming nababayaran sa labor and konti na lang ang nininet ng university. So, halos pumapantay lang sa bayad. Kaya tinitingnan ng university yung projections annually. Adjust spending and explores additional funding sources if revenue falls short. Just for example, every quarter na di-delay, then if napapansin ng budget office na medyo delay ang baba ng non-loading, talagang magbabawas ng activities. Just for example, instead of magta-travel ang 10 tao, 3 tao lang ipapadala. So that's how university works with its revenue forecasting and projections. So, Land Bank uses economic indicator, market trends, and historical data to predict revenue. So, tinitingnan yan. Just for example, if in a layman explanation, pagbaha, pag nasa state of emergency, talagang aasahan mo, hindi makakabayad yung nag-loan o nag-utang ng mga farmers. So, annual forecasting updates align with budgeting procedures. Implement cost-cutting measures and revenue diversification strategies when income projections are insufficient. Debt management, SKSU operates within government appropriation internal generated funds. So far, the university has no debt. No? Walang pagkakautangan ng university. Financial commitments are limited to cash advances and board of regents approval. So, expend within the means ang SKSU. Kung ano ang nandyan, yun ang gagamitin. Compared to Land Bank, managed deposit, loans, and borrowing from international organizations. So, that's the difference. Now, the university has no debt, walang pagkakautang sa kahit sa ninong agencies. Compared to the Land Bank of the Philippines, they could borrow from the international organizations or other stakeholders. So, that's the difference. So, in the 10th parameter, which is the public investment and capital budgeting, SKSU prioritizes academic growth and infrastructure aligned with accreditation requirements. So, since SKSU is a academic institution, of course, it will prioritize the academic growth of the university. So, with infrastructure projects to sustain the needs of the university, the students, and the faculty for accreditation requirements. So, even the canteen today, maybe 10 years ago, canteen is not been discussed in the accreditation. But now, in a program accreditation, canteen is very important. That's why the university is now building a infrastructure for for the canteen of the university. Uses feasibility studies and cost benefit analysis for project evaluation. So cost benefit analysis sometimes done during the mid-year review of the project income generating projects of the university proposals. So the Land Bank evaluates capital incentive project using financial models like IRR and NPV. Ensures liquidity management while supporting long-term investment. So this is very important to the Land Bank of the Philippines. Now, yung talagang ensure ang liquidated management, or else it could not be sustained the long-term investments. So public financial management information uses financial management system in compliance with the DBM and the CHED. So pag ang State University, automatic yan, ang sinusundan is ang DBM, ang COA, at ang CHED requirements. So, hindi siya pwedeng lumabas doon. Hindi ka pwedeng gumasto nang wala doon sa sinasaad ng CHED at ng DBM. Of course, if wala yan sa CHED, then the DBM will not allow you to expend or to use the government fund for which is not aligned to the CHED programs and activities. So, implement IT solutions for better financial supporting and integration. So, now we have this search project. I don't know if it is published by the university. May search na, in which you can monitor, you can upload your, in every quarter meeting, a quarter financial discussion, you can visit the search in which you can upload, or you can encode the funding that you have needed. Depends on the appropriated allocated fund in your offices. So Land Bank utilizes integrated management system for efficient financial processes. Faces challenges in system interoperability with external networks. So, as you can observe today, even SKSU and Land Bank uses e-governance, so e-transactions. So when there is a defect or there is challenges in the network, automatically both of these agency will face external and internal challenges in its activities and programs. So fiscal decentralization implements campus-based budgeting, financial training to empower local management. So in SKSU, every campuses is given an allocated fund. So every campuses must conduct its financial work and financial planning, and then the PPMP. That's the whole year, a fiscal management of its resources. So ganun ang university. Ensures financial autonomy with its institutional framework. Although there is some of the campuses is a short, few enrollees compared to other campuses. As for example, Palimbang has only 400 or 300 plus. So talagang mababa ang allocated fund sa kanila. But the university, the administration will share some of the budget, like budget of the utility, labors and wages of the utility, and some of the needs of the campuses. So Land Bank supports decentralized financial management by providing funding mechanism and technical assistance to local government units. So ganun there is a MOA between LGU and the Land Bank of the Philippines. Actually, ang LGU sa Land Bank nakakautang yan. So that is the fiscal decentralization strategy of the Land Bank. Aligns fiscal planning with national economic and development goals. So number 13, efficiency and effectiveness in service delivery. SKSU implement key performance indicator and regular audit to ensure efficiency and resource utilization. Works towards digitization to enhance operational process. As I've said a while ago, there is a search project of the university. Prioritize international system development and quality assurance for academic services. Land Bank uses automated report system and digital banking platform for streamlined service delivery. Before, you have to visit the ATM machine to check your ATM kung may laman o wala. But today, we are in ATM phone. Meron na, you can check your ATM in your respective phones. Conduct frequently financial reporting and performance evaluation to align resource allocation with international organizational goal. So that's how the SKSU and Land Bank efficiently and effectiveness in checking their services delivery. So in SKSU also the system development and quality assurance. SKSU apply for assurance. Last 2019, we are ISO accredited and quality assurance awardee. So that's how SKSU talk about efficiency and effectiveness. Aside from that, SKSU also look into the graduates or the products of the programs. Kung may pumapasa ba, ilan ang passing rate natin, pumapasok ba sa national passing rate. So that is the service delivery efficiency and effectiveness evaluation of the university. So number 14, the sustainability and environmental considerations. SKSU encourage campus sustainability projects such as waste reduction and solar energy. Actually, since the university has a general services office division, ito yung kanila, and climate change adaptation and disaster risk reduction management center. Ito sa tinitingnan nila, the green project, dapat naka-integrate na mga buildings natin and projects natin sa climate change. Implement eco-friendly policies in the financial planning and university operations. Before, pag nag-order ka ng food sa PPMP, sinong manalong bidder, ngayon kinoconsider ng university at zero plastic, no plastic allowed in the university. So dapat ang ating mga winning bidder is zero plastic ang ginagamit nila. So Land Bank integrates environmental responsibilities in its cooperative social responsibility programs. So Land Bank also has its own programs and activities like tree planting and etc. So the community activities of the Land Bank. Invest in green growth deposits supporting renewable energy and climate initiatives. So number 15 parameter, human resource management and fiscal operation. Finance division oversees budgeting in SKSU. And Land Bank control chief group manages compliance, risk management, and budgeting across bank operations. So SKSU conducts sector-specific training to improve staff financial expertise. Nagpapadala ito ng kanyang last time 5 kami from SKSU to attend the Procurement Act seminar in Iloilo City. So in Land Bank provides regular training and professional development to maintain workplace. So similarly, SKSU in Land Bank is very supportive to the staff for their efficiency and effectivity in their services. So number 16, stakeholder engagement and communication. SKSU holds academic and administrative meeting. So uses structured consultations to align financial planning and institutional objectives. Publish financial reports to maintain transparency in funding allocation. This is SKSU. In Land Bank, engage in stakeholders through financial forum, consultative budgeting, and joint projects. Utilizes customer service channels, grievance mechanism, and transparency portals for feedback. Publish annual financial disclosures and sustainability reports to build trust. So, number 17, The last but not the least, the crisis management and contingency planning. SKSU implement financial buffer and contingency budgeting for crisis resilience. Prioritize remote learning and health safety initiatives during disruptions. So, the university is very active in disaster and risk management. Not only the physical disaster, but into the internal and external management. Pinag-uusapan ng university kung baba-baba ang enrollees, magkano. That's risk management also. We're not talking about the disaster like bagyo, lindol, and earthquake or fire. But the university also look into crisis management like enrollment, like downloading of funding from the national government delays. So yan ang tinitingnan ng university. Land Bank maintains liquidity contingency plan to ensure cash flow stability. Expand lending programs and financial aid during economic downloads. So Land Bank, talagang dapat hindi ma-delay ito. You know what? Because the customers every day. Lalabas, papasok ang pera. There should be no delays in the financial management of the Land Bank. So compared to SKSU, pag wala pang funding, sasabihin ng top management, we will wait until the funding will be downloaded. But in the Land Bank, that's not allowed. It should always be liquidity contingency planning to ensure cash flow stability. So that will be our the end of our presentation. But before that, we will be discuss the conclusion. The conclusion of our analysis regarding the comparative analysis of the two agency, which is SKSU and Land Bank. So as to our conclusion, both SKSU and Land Bank aiming for regulatory compliance. This is not new because they are owned and controlled by the national government. So operational efficiency and financial sustainability is based on the regulatory compliance of the national laws. SKSU emphasizes public services delivery, resource efficiency, and regulatory compliance, while Land Bank uses robust fiscal practices influenced by the private sectors, by its clientele, by its stakeholder. So both institutions demonstrate resilience in facing obstacles like resource limitation and technological constraints through strategic modification, capacity building, and financial management technologies. Their focus on openness, responsibility, and proactive governance highlights the Philippines developing public fiscal management culture and the importance of the innovation and collaboration. So therefore, we can say that with these practices, the financial management practices of the SKSU and the Land Bank, they could sustain their activities programs to follow and align the long-term objectives of their respective agencies. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.